Hey, quick recording, just a little preamble to this debate that we're doing. This is over almost a year ago that this started. It was around November, December. We talked heavily about Bleach. There's a lot of spoilers here, so just to forewarn people. On top of that, one of the people we were debating had a speaker as opposed to headphones, so there's a heavy echo throughout these parts and stuff. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried plugins, I tried as much as I could try to remove it. Manually removing it would just consume way too much time. So unfortunately, you just got to deal with the echo. Enjoy the us talking about Bleach.
All right, so let's begin. Let's just do a little bit of chronologically. So the first thing we're going to be talking about first is like the sales figures for Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
So the point that DBZ Imran was showing is that in the video was that series, not just Bleach, but every series had like a drop in sales when digital manga sales came along. In the video, you didn't very much counter it, and coincidentally, you guys tried to criticize DBZ Imran for not explaining stuff. You guys just say like, "Oh, you don't know that," but like, what's your reasoning based on that?
Okay.
There's not a whole lot.
So the video itself shows that at the time that Bleach was dropping off in sales and becoming outside of the top 10 was roughly around 2014, 2015. During that time, Naruto and One Piece were still going up in sales, and other sales were also increasing.
There were other each shows, like I think Ippo was one of them, that were reaching about the same amount of sales that Bleach was doing in its height.
Now, if every series was declining, there is no reason that Bleach should have been outside of the top 3 or top 5 or whatever rough area it usually was.
If everything had gone down to like 4 mil and then Bleach also went down to 4 mil, that'd be something. But One Piece was still, I think at its heights was like 13, and it was still going at like 11.
Even so far as the percentages, it at the time that Bleach was dropping heavily, One Piece and Naruto were still going up, and as we said, other series were overtaking it. So Bleach may have been 800,000 at one point, and other series at 400,000. Then Bleach dropped to 400,000, while other series jumped up to 600,000. And all people are talking about is that all series declined, but the decline was at different points. One Piece did not decline at the same time that Bleach did, neither did Naruto. Bleach declined so much earlier than any of the other big three.
I'm not particularly well versed in sales.
Sorry to
in this
interrupt
case,
you,
you
neither
really
are we, but we're just going by what we see on the screen that DBZ RAM and
Eye
Patch would present it.
Yeah, because we don't, as far as sales go, we personally don't care, because a sale does not mark how good or bad a series is. Otherwise, you got to look at something like Justin Bieber and go, he's one of the greatest artists of all time. You got to look at somebody like Drake and go, he's one of the greatest artists of all time. If you're simply looking at the sales, we just do not care about sales.
I know. I know too. Like, I don't judge a series based on sales. Like, after all, yeah. Like,
Because, like, for
like
example,
if we
like,
judge,
there was, like, okay, can I just kind of interrupt here for a minute?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, for an example, if we purely judge stories by how much they sold, and given that One Piece has a really long status of being, well, the best for this case, but then there was also one year where Demon Slayer surpassed the One Piece's sales.
Which is
I don't
another
really
thing.
remember what it did.
Yeah, which is another thing. It beat One Piece by like 800K sales, but that's another thing. If we want to talk about the advent of digital sales, why is a series out surpassing One Piece, which is a mainstay in this digital age? It came out during the digital age and still broke One Piece's sale record for that year. A well-established series. So you can't just go, the advent of digital sales is why everything is declining when something is beating the most established manga in history.
That will never probably end.
And One Piece is definitely ending within the next 4 or to 6 years.
Oh
It's in the end game, and we're real
it.
sad about it.
Sucks. Why? Go forever.
No, don't go forever.
Yeah. Not sure why I felt like it, but we also had, but like what Eye Patch Wolf has mostly shown was like physical manga sales, no like DVD sales or something, which with that alone, Bleach would stomp.
Yeah, as far as DVD sales, the only thing I can think of for that one is that Bleach was more the older people liked Bleach more than the younger people. So people ages like 18 to 35 were more in tune with Bleach than something like Naruto and One Piece. And an 18 to 35-year-old is going to have way more disposable income to buy a DVD or buy all the DVDs as opposed to a 12 to 17-year-old. That's the only, because, you know, a 12 to 17-year-old weekly Shonen Jump, they know they got to spend their 400 yen to buy it or whatever, and that's cool with them. But
them DVD prices over in Japan are outrageous.
And then you got to look at that and go, well, I like One Piece and I'm only getting like 11 episodes of One Piece for $35. That's not worth it to me. But, you know, somebody with disposable income, like the adults that Bleach catered to more so, they probably bought DVDs more. That's the only thing I can think of as far as
we don't have surveys or numbers or anything. These are all just assumptions.
I do keep up with like James Hansen's tweets and some other screenshots on Twitter. There's this one in particular that I lost, but it like shows like Bleach's DVD sales. It surpassed all of Naruto. Like not just like part 1 Naruto, also part 2 and Boruto. Like it shit stomped Naruto in the DVD sales aspect.
Well, if you count Boruto, I can't. That's not really fair because I can't imagine they sold more than 5 copies. It stinks.
You might as well take numbers off.
Seriously, it's a detriment. Oh, look at all these sales figures of Naruto and Boruto. Naruto 1 million, Boruto 1,000, but it's both combined.
Yeah, but
Boruto ain't selling nothing.
But yeah, as far as Naruto, I'm sure it was more for kids. One Piece is very like cartoony-ish, even though it has a lot of dark material within. Something like Hunter x Hunter, I could see, especially around the Chimera Ant arc, I could see that having a lot of like DVD sales because it's such a dark arc. But, you know, Bleach is a lot of more mature themes and dark arcs and characters as opposed to something like One Piece.
We really don't know why people buy things.
Another thing that like is worth mentioning as well, which another emphasis on like Eye Patch Wolf only showing like manga sales, not anything else particularly. I posted a tweet in one of the scan section. Hold on, let me ping you there real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, wrong person. Whoops. Where it's a one that you see a whole lot. Most likely seen this tweet before from James, but it shows like Bleach's total ad revenue is like in like the top 5 sections. Like it surpassed like Black Clover, and it's like just one spot behind Naruto, and you know Bleach has no anime to go off of as of currently.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, did I just get blown out? Boruto selling?
I think
I can't believe that.
Okay, yeah, that's TV Tokyo for this fiscal year. Okay, I was wondering if this was like the first fiscal year of each series and Bleach was the best. Yeah, I'm sure Bleach is really up there right now because people are really anticipating the return of Bleach for the final arc.
It's kind of in the top 10 right now. It's kind of in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Because you know it's got a lot of hype surrounding it with this return. I think the same could have been said for something like Inuyasha. I'm sure it had an uptick. Probably not as much as Bleach, but Bleach was also one of the big 3, quote unquote. So it's gonna have a lot more hype for its final arc return than something like Inuyasha. But yeah, I'm sure there was a huge uptick because of the announcement of the final arc, and they want to run it and get people reacclimated with Bleach before they finally start pumping out the new episodes.
Once again, I don't particularly care about sales, and I'm not particularly well versed in sales. I could just get James right here and like take this section over for me. Really wanted to. But just saying, like DBZ, what DBZ Airman was also mostly showing was that is that every series declined at some point, and there's also like way more sales figures to go off for Bleach than what Eye Patch Wolf did. Like he specifically only, like he specifically decided to show manga sales scans, despite the fact digital sales and like DVD sales also exist.
Yeah, but it's, and also, I'll say as far as digital sales, sorry to cut you off. I'll say as far as digital sales, it's really hard to track those because even when you look at the top 100 manga, all mangas that have went over 100 volumes in sales or 100 million in sales, there are only 2 in the top 20 or 30 that also include the digital scales. Like even digital sales, even One Piece at this moment does not count its digital sales. Naruto does not count digital sales, even though it still gets something. Boruto does not count digital sales. So it's really hard to... Or is it... not Boruto, but something else doesn't count as digital sales. I think the only 2 right now that count it are like Demon Slayer and My Hero or something, as far as the top 15, top 20 go. So it's really hard to point to those.
Just saying, and like... in that first section of the video, as well as I'm also calling it out to you, is that YouTube particularly didn't like show any screenshots to prove the point that it was like when Bleach was dropping, Naruto and One Piece were going up. Like it didn't particularly show any scans as well.
We show it's all based upon what he showed. He showed that little graph of everything going up and down and up and down. He showed that. He showed the graphs of, hey, here's this thing selling this at its height. Yeah, that's all we go by.
As far as our series is, it's not a typical analyst video. It's more of a reactionary video. So just think of like somebody watching a trailer and then reacting to it, pausing to it, responding to something in it, something like that. We do not take outside
against copyright.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, well, is that something like that, kind of like against copyright or something like that?
Technically,
probably somebody could probably come after us.
But at the same time, they would have to say that the complete work of theirs is their work. So if, let's just say, Eye Patch Wolf came after us for Why You Should Watch Part 5, Golden Wind, he would have to say, this is my property. And he would have to prove that Golden Wind itself is also his property. Because really, analysis YouTubers are also quote-unquote copyright each other. Or copywriting the series, its issues. It's all gray area and fair use. So, yeah, ours is just, we watch the video, we talk about it, we pause it, we go back, we listen to their points, we talk about it, we pause it, we watch the video. That's literally all it is. We don't bring outside sources. It's all from our memories and all from our voice and their video itself. So when he talks about, you said that all series have a decline, yes, because everything hits a peak and then everything starts going down. It's just the way it is for literally anything that has multiple years worth of sales. So yes, Bleach definitely went up. It had a peak and it definitely went down. One Piece did, Naruto did, My Hero will or already has, Black Clover will or already has. It's the same thing for literally everything. And the point wasn't that Bleach declined while everything else went up. It was that while Bleach was declining, everything else was going up, or roughly staying the same.
It had such a big drop off.
I don't know.
I'll tell you this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Nah, it's alright.
If you look at
the third interruption.
Yeah, it's fine. If you look at the Ayn Rand video. Oh yeah, sorry. If you're looking at the Ayn Rand video or the Eye Patch Wolf video, there is a moment in either one of the videos where they're looking at the sales that the I can't remember the YouTube channel it is, but it's like every shonen series from 2010 to 2019, the sales of them and the graph going up and down. There is a moment where you can see Bleach going down while Naruto and One Piece are going up, and it's not, you can't dispute what you see. Like, it's there. It's One Piece and Naruto are still going up. Bleach is going down. And then eventually One Piece and Naruto start declining as well. But you can just go either way.
Although, to be fair, like, that series also that video does show some, like, other series that aren't Shonen Jump related, to be fair. So...
Oh, definitely. I think it's
I'm pretty sure
all
like
manga as
I'm
opposed
pretty
to
sure
shonen.
there was a live stream by James that like he went over Eye Patch Wolf's video talking about that graph, like that little animation graph, and I think he pointed out how he shows series that aren't from Jump, so you should question as well the legitimacy of the research as well from the guy.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. But as far as X went up while Bleach went down, or Bleach stayed the same while everything went down, there is evidence of the big three, two still going up and Bleach going down. Even if you want to discount all the other series that were included in there, there is a point where Bleach is dropping heavily while the other two are still roughly staying the same or going up.
One of those moments for 2010 to 2019 be at the Fullbring arc, while Naruto was at the War arc. Assassin got a point there. I mean, like the Fullbring arc did like drop. What is the word I'm looking for? Expectations. Expectations. I think it's expectations, because it like went back to like a like smaller scale like storyline.
But as far as that goes, if we're just going,
it is a reboot arc, while the other is a climax arc. Makes sense actually.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, are we just gonna go, hey, what was going on at that time for the arc
to see how well it sells? Because then we're gonna be here for all time.
Yeah, why did One Piece start going down? Why did Naruto start going down? Why did One Piece hit a peak at this point? What was going on there?
I think Klein took down that video at some point, but like he did misstate. I want that scan, but like he stated that like Bleach's sales were surpassing that of One Piece during the Aizen finale.
Wait, is that actually true?
I very much doubt that.
And if it is, it's probably
he took it down, but like I think he said that Bleach was surpassing One Piece at some point. I think he did. Not sure if it's true or not.
I'd have to look into that because Bleach. One Piece was basically. One Piece as far. You know what? Maybe a week or two it did, but as far as like volumes and the monthly, One Piece was only being broken by One Piece. Like One Piece would set records with each volume. I don't think Bleach was ever like surpassing it in sales. Maybe in the U.S. Maybe in the U.S. it was surpassing it because One Piece
worldwide, because One Piece ain't doing nothing over here.
But because in the U.S., One Piece sometimes doesn't even hit the top 10 when a new volume comes out. But in Japan, definitely not. Worldwide, possibly, but no, because One Piece was doing like 2-3 million a print. So I don't think so.
And then again, at that time we have to look out what's going on in the world of Bleach. Was there an amusement park that opened up which gained interest? Was the movie coming out? We don't know. So just by going, hey, this week.
I'm pretty sure there was an amusement park. There was a video game as well and a movie as well, because that did come out during the same time as the volume did. Volume 48. Like there was an author note noting that from Kubo about the movie, and the game came about the same time to celebrate Bleach's 10th anniversary. And not sure on One Piece. Fortunately, I'm not well versed in One Piece sales figures.
Yeah, but
the only thing I know is that it's like shit stomping Dragon Ball in terms of sales.
Yeah, One Piece is literally the greatest selling manga of all time. I think it beats out the number 2 and 3 combined, something like that. It's something crazy. One Piece is the third highest selling graphic novel of all time.
It's catching up to that boy. Was it Superman or Batman?
Batman. Right. And it's very close to surpassing Batman. Like One Piece is ridiculous. That's why when you say Bleach outsold it at one point, I just do not believe that. It could be absolutely true. It has the potential to be true, but I just do not believe it.
This isn't really something that's worth arguing because we don't have the data, and this is all just speculation.
I just mentioned it because that's like
the other point.
All right, so let's tackle. Since I remember mostly part 3, let's go over part 3. Now, part 3, you guys talked about like the Soul Society and the Huecamundo arc similarities and the differences as well.
And then they're kind of the polar opposites.
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
think they're polar opposites. There are very much similarities in them, but we've also said
In
that
surface, yes.
we do not care about the similarities. Like, we only care that they were right next to each other. Like, if it went Soul Society, full bring, some setup for the 1,000-Year Blood War, and then Hueco Mundo, it wouldn't feel as repetitive. But we do not care about the similarities because, as we said, we're big fans of One Piece, and One Piece is very much go to island, learn the injustices of island, stop dictator on island. So we don't care about similarities and things.
The thing is that like the Hueco Mundo arc, it's like a saga. It's like a mini event taking place of like.
About the other series, like for Dragon Ball Z, for an example. You can basically argue the arcs are basically the same.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the similarities of
Everything has
each arc or
similarities and
sagas, yeah, you're gonna find very repeated beats in shonen series. So
If I were to critique Bleach, this would not be me going, these two arcs are similar. They wouldn't be in my like top 10 things that I
That
have
would
a
technically
problem
be
with.
more of a nitpick, wouldn't it?
yeah, like we don't care about that. We only talk about it because the creator themselves talk about it.
And we don't want to just be silent.
Yeah, we don't want to just sit there for 4 minutes just listening to a video.
Hey, don't look at me. Eye Patch Wolf specifically claimed that like hell Hueco Mundo is hell. It's not fucking
Yeah,
true.
no, he-
Yeah, his video has a lot of problems.
Yeah,
And
we revisited DBZ Imrans, but we also just did Eye Patch Wolves. So that's coming up sometime next week. He is really wrong about things.
Yeah,
and we
provably
said
wrong.
And we said so many times, Super Eye Patch Wolf is just not a very good analyst YouTuber when it comes to certain things because he either implants too much into something.
Dude, he's good at like Dragon Ball, One Piece, but he's absolutely shit at like Bleach
Well, see,
overall.
I can't even say he's
No,
good
I
at
think it's actually
I
really
can't
more
even say
so
he's
he's
good
really
at,
bad at making out things he doesn't really like, but he's really good at things on the stuff he does like.
But the DBZ thing,
Like-
we revisited.
like
we revisited a
pointing it
video-
out, like pointing it out. I was rewatching your part one just for the preparation, a little bit of this debate, but like, when DBZ Imran said that he wanted Eye Patch Wolf to like look at the later portions of Bleach's story in the same critical lens as he did in the first two arcs, it means like the same how do I put it, like analysis perspective. He explains thoroughly why he likes certain fight scenes, like everything like that, but he never does it again. Like, oh, Uryu's ability right here is an ass pull. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay,
this fight right here, it's just a copy paste. Let's proceed.
But the
You
flip
forget what
side,
I mean.
yeah, I get it. But the flip side is he is doing that same analysis, but because he doesn't like it, he's focusing on the negative things.
On top of that, when it comes to like the
But
ass
also ignoring
pull,
context.
yeah. When it comes to like the ass pull, when it comes to the things he sees in the Soul Society, it hasn't been done already. So when it keeps getting done, it keeps getting done, it keeps getting done, he's like, wow, it's just a series of ass pulls. Like you can, we've said it before, or I've said it before, the whole Starfinger problem or Deus Ex Machina. If you start breaking down shonen fights, too many shonen fights have, oh, the power of friendship. Oh, I'm gonna break out this new ability. Oh, I
That's
just
also
did
not to
this.
mention
Yeah.
that
And you
Also
see
to
it.
mention that the Starfinger thing is a really bad comparison.
Yeah, no.
No, that's terrible.
No,
It's
but
legit.
I'm just saying, as far as if you're gonna break down shonen fights like that, you're going to see a lot of, oh, Starfingers, oh, Deus Exes, blah 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 blah. So when you first see it, you are more forgiving of it because it happens all the time, and it's something that hasn't been happening within the series itself. So when Uryu does it like 4 or 5 times, it starts to become a problem. That's when he said,
For that point of Uryu and the Deus Ex Machina, you didn't particularly like talk about it in part 3 or even get to it, so I wasn't mentioning it right here. I just mentioned it as like an example.
Okay, yeah. I'll say this though. I have said that Wolf is wrong as far as calling it a Starfinger problem or a Deus Ex because it's just something that happens in
in some
shonen.
points, in other points, it is a big problem.
Like you can
not
kind of say the same thing about Killer Queen if it has such an asshole.
Yeah,
From
Killer
part
Queen.
four.
You could say
Because-
the exact same thing as far as Deus Ex Starfinger problem.
Like, more so, like, the specific ability is the sheer heart attack one.
Yeah, and then he gets a new one to solve this unsolvable problem. And it's if you want to break it down like that, you're gonna find the same thing in a lot of shonen. We have no problem with uryu when it comes to like pulling out a new weapon. But we did have a problem with
No.
with the God Killer sword. That's one we were like, yes, that's one you should point to where it's like a Starfinger problem or Deus Ex.
That's a big problem.
That one's a problem to us.
That one is kind of weird because now needed help from Shunsui. Like he always had it, but like he couldn't wield it.
Yeah, but
And
it
then-
was never
and
brought
now,
up that it was a
like,
god sword until the moment that it
wait.
was needed.
Like and then now like disperse Lily, and then he like went to the Soul Society. So and it's implied he actually got weaker. So he didn't technically kill him. He still survived it. Then Izuru came along and most likely killed him off
But
screen.
It
was actually Yuhao. I guess.
Yeah, but the problem itself is with the sword for us. Like, if you would have went, we talk about this in part 4, and I really wish we would have had part 4 up before this. But in part 4, we go, because this is when Imran talks about it. We go, if they had asked if they should pull out that sword for Isaac, and they go, no, he doesn't have god powers, it won't work on him. It would make a lot more sense to be like, it's established and it's not just out of nowhere. They talk about it, then they show it in the 2 chapters before it actually happens, and then it happens. That to us is not well established. It's not establishing anything. It's just like with the Asuma thing on Naruto, where it's like, remember our earrings and the flash, and then they flash back to the earrings like they've always been important. No, they weren't always important. You're trying to make them important and explain them now.
Yeah, and just saying that he always had it doesn't really make whole lot of sense or
what
really
earring?
matter, because at any point he might just like, I got this.
In the case of like the war arc, like in the Aizen war arc, like the Aizen finale, like the now
Dark Side arc?
wasn't like present in like the war, and even if she was, Aizen like had a point where he like Kyoka Suigetsu'd everyone and then bodied them hardcore. So Aizen just be like, anyway, Kyoka Suigetsu, I'm just gonna mind hacks you all. And
Yeah,
then
I understand
GG.
that. The whole point we were talking about was it wasn't brought up beforehand. It was brought up literally 2 seconds before it's used. And to us, that's not enough time to quote unquote establish something. We were just giving the Isaac arc as an example. It could have been during Soul Society. It could have been during something else, as opposed to just that particular moment.
I don't know, like it makes sense. It's not like plot hole.
No, it's not a plot hole, but it's an
Or
asshole.
like,
It's something I have a problem. I definitely need to fix this right now. So let's make this girl have a Godslayer sword. And it just comes out of nowhere. It's the exact counter to the thing that they need, and it beats them.
Yeah, for things like Uryu, like we said, we don't have a problem with the Uryu
hey,
stuff.
come on. In Endgame, like, how did the movie start specifically? Like, it started with like Ant-Man in like a little private place, and then like a rat came along and got him out of the warp thing.
Yeah, that's something that
Quantum
happened in the
realm,
world.
and
It's lucky.
then
It's a
What happened
And then they
there?
were just like,
I can tell you what happened there. Doctor Strange, that was the one possibility he saw, because probably in like 3 million of the possibilities he saw, the rat doesn't hit it and then they lose. So he went, if I do this, if everybody does this is the one possibility we have to beat Thanos. This is the one world I saw where the rat hits that thing.
because his car got impounded because this person took over the shop for this person and they took it here.
So yeah, it makes sense there, as
Isn't
opposed to
Endgame,
like
an extremely horrible movie, anyways.
Endgame was fine.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Endgame. We're talking about Bleach.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, like, specifically, even like other like great series and shit, they start out with like a form of contrivance, like, oh, just so happens that a rat just hits like the thing that they need to be hit.
It's a plot contrivance, but it's something that was established, or it was something that was foreshadowed in the previous movie at the very least. as opposed
And
to
even though the quantum realm doesn't really make any sense in the end game, even though what compared to what was previously established in the MCU movies with the Ant-Man and Wasp.
True. Does that make Bleach better or worse?
it doesn't
That-
excuse the problems of Bleach.
It's just
doesn't.
there
Just
are
saying,
things
yeah,
that
there
have problems in the world. Yes, we understand that. But it is also a definitive problem within Bleach.
Yeah. Like, a thing that always, like, disturbed me is, like, well, Rangiku versus Izuru. It wasn't, like, a particularly, like, important fight. And, like, Izuru has an ability that, like, doubles the weight of an object. And then Rangiku just so happens to have an ability that, like, turns their sword to ash. Like, it kind of always nerks me in the wrong way.
Also, could the weight thing really work if you actually think about it? Like, wasn't there actually this one interview where a Soul Reaper, like the weight of a Soul Reaper Zanpakuto doesn't really like weight anything to them? Like, we're going about 0, right?
Like, that one was kind of weird, but, like, the examples that iPad both mentioned.
Hang on. Like, if it is actually 0, and Izuru did establish that the Shikai ability makes anything he hits become twice as hard. So if a Zanpakuto's weight basically doesn't weigh anything, then 2 times 0 is like still 0. So Rangiku's sword should even be heavier.
It sounds like a problem in Bleach.
Well, that was in the base
yeah,
Zanpakuto. Well, that was a problem. Well, that was a thing in the base Zanpakuto, technically speaking.
Yeah, no, it's just really fucking weird. Like,
I ain't got no dog in this fight.
like that is the one that, like, nerks me the wrong way, especially in the sense of, like, how well, like, established, like, Bankai is. But other than those two, like, I can't think of, like, any other issues. For example, Kenpachi doing the kendo move. It, like, what the fuck? Like, no, it makes sense. Like, you're like, put your other hand on the sword, you will have, like, twice the ability to control the strikes of your sword and have more strength as a result than you're doing it freehand.
Yeah, we
Also,
joke about
it
it
was somebly
with the
mentioned-
whole him grabbing
Also,
it with 2 hands and it makes no sense and blah blah. We joke about it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And they establish they don't establish it, but they show it in the past. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
He wants to get stronger. Whatever.
Nah, they did subtly establish it. Like, when I was going around looking for skill shit for Kenpachi, I went to Bleach Wiki and they said that, like, there was a panel at some point where it, like, shows Kenpachi using, like, 2 hands for Zanpakuto when, like, Ichigo was overpowering him. It was subtly shown.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem for us. I think we agreed that with DBZ Amran, where DBZ Amran was like, yeah, that's a bad point, Eye Patch Wolf, and we're like, yes, it is a bad point. Shut up, Eye Patch Wolf.
How about the Gentei Kaijo point? It's like, you can't complain about that one. You have no excuse on that one, all right?
Which one is that one?
It's the one where, like, the Hitsugaya team squad were able to buy the, like, Grimjow's, like, free or wrong cars.
Oh yeah, that was a dumb point by Eye Patch Wolf as well, where it's just like they said why they were restricted, and then they said, oh, we're allowed to not have this restriction anymore. It makes sense within the series. It's not like they got more power; they just no longer have less power.
No, it was also established all the way back in, like, the Soul Society arc in his favorite fight as well, as it just so happens.
Yeah, it's just Wolf just not paying enough attention. Wolf is very surface level with his analysis.
He's very emotional.
And he's very emotional about things. He pays attention, but he doesn't pay enough attention. And when he doesn't pay enough attention, he speaks with so much finality that it sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't actually know what he's talking about.
Matt also pointed out, Rangy and Byakuya literally showed this and established this in the Substitute Soul Shinigami arc. So yeah, it goes even further back than the Soul Society arc.
It's just Wolf not paying attention and calling out a problem that's not actually a problem.
Yeah.
Now, we do
and
that
we have,
a lot.
like,
We make a whole lot of mistakes, but we're on the fly. We can't, outside of a couple moments, we can't, like, look up things. But he's got all this time, all this research time. There's no excuse for him.
Like, Uryu's fights as well. Like, he claims that every single one of Uryu's fights, he's just there like, well, Uryu's fighting team always win. That was a fan asshole, and it's like, okay, I don't remember that, and I've read Bleach like a million times, but go on. And then he's like, well,
it's dumb stuff when he's talking about, oh, he's got this new sword, so he beats this dude. I mean, new bow, so he beats this dude. Well, he was training before he went into Soul Society. Why wouldn't he have a powered up weapon? Oh, the glove. Well, he showed training with the glove, and that something happens if you ever take it off. What's the problem?
And why would he use that against his first fight against some bum?
I have no idea what's his problem with that.
Yeah, like our problem. Before we continue, our problem is not really with Bleach early on, or even Ram. It's really with Eyepatch Wolf. He's not very good at this. When it comes to Ram, though, the things he says that were excusable or unexcusable, he doesn't explain enough, or he's misinterpreting the information, like the manga sales and all that. Or he's strawmanning it and trying to bring up other things that weren't exactly Wolf's point.
I don't know about that. Like Imran mentioned a whole lot of things.
Yeah, he mentioned a lot of things.
Like the other fights as well with Uryu, like the guy where he just so happens to have a bow that like hits like way more than like quadruple the amount of shots that guy, that little Ronkar, can fire. It was technically foreshadowed that he had like some other gear. And also the Celestializers, like thinking some of the panels and like some anime clips, you can see that he has like his belt with like 5 lightsaber looking things. Like if there's some panels where like it shows that he has like 5 tubes, and they're like, well, what does it do?
Yeah,
it's just Wolf not paying attention. If you're gonna call it out, you should know what's going on. Like, we're not gonna call that stuff out with Uryu, because I've personally said the Uryu stuff, I don't know what Wolf is talking about. If you're gonna call that stuff out, you should know what you're talking about. We're not calling that stuff out. We don't. It's whatever to us. Like, if as far as assful, it's different for something like a true ass pull, like something in Dragon Ball, where it's like, oh, we can now do 3 wishes. Well, what happened there? Oh, well, this and that and the third. Yeah. It's different for something like that, and somebody just showing a new power. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I brought this up in a later video, but it was something like One Piece. In One Piece, Zoro has 3 swords. And if he was using 2 swords all the time, and then he brought out his third one, I was like, that's not a Deus Ex Machina or anything. He always had that thing, and it was always shown right there. And he just used it to get more powerful. That's really nothing.
Coincidentally, as DBZ Emran also brought up, like Eyepatch Wolf also criticizes like the Bankai and the Shikai usages, but he never mentioned Rangiku versus Izuru, which always nerked me the wrong way. He mentions like Toshiro sealing away Holybell, I think. Don't remember exactly, but like I think he mentioned like Toshiro sealing away Holybell, and it's like, dude, it makes sense in the context of Toshiro's Zanpakuto. And even then, we see later on that it never actually worked. Like, Wonder Wise just broke her out of it.
Yeah, all that, like, a lot of the stuff that Eyepatch Wolf calls out is stuff that's either shown before that he wasn't paying attention to, or stuff that makes context or makes sense contextually that he doesn't enjoy anymore or he doesn't like, so he wants to point out that it's actually bad when it's not. Yeah, like we said, we just think Eyepatch Wolf is not a very good analyst YouTuber when it comes to certain things. I think he's pretty good at wrestling. I think he's good when it comes to things he really likes. But as far as like, this is a negative and I'm going to just tell you why it's a negative, I don't think he's very good at that.
Same thing with the Ichigo stuff. Like, that one just like made me want to rip my heart out.
Yeah, he's just wrong about things. We've talked about him like 4 or 5 times, and each time it's just like,
wow, he's really bad.
He's just not very good.
Like, oh, Ichigo wins every fight with ass pull power surge, and I'm there like, dude, I can mention literally 5 fights in the one fight that you mentioned. Ichigo wins via surge of power, and I can mention 5 times where he doesn't win with that, and he loses with the surge of power.
Yeah, like
Yeah, he doesn't like Bleach, so he's gonna pick out the negative points and
to show why it's falling or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's just wrong about it. It's hard to say why Bleach started going down in sales. It's hard to say why people started gravitating away from it because you'd have to poll so many people and learn why they did it and why people stopped buying it. But it's not, for the most part, it's not for the reasons that Wolf himself says.
Yeah.
He's just wrong about things. It's just things he personally sees, and personally he's wrong about a lot.
Dude, like I literally stopped in like before I even got to the Fullbring arc. When he got to the Aspol segment, I was just there like, oh dear God, I'm quitting this video. And then it got even worse with like Ichigo's carrying a giant swastika, and I'm there like, bruh,
Yeah.
the fuck?
Lightning, yeah, I think people look at Soul Society, and Soul Society is such a good arc.
It's so good that the Waco Mundo arc doesn't compare to it, and it's so long that I think people just sort of fell off. Like, this isn't as good as this like 9-10 star thing, which it's a 9-10 star thing. It's not gonna get back up to that point.
It more than likely. But, you know, Hueco Mundo is like a 7.5. It's a fine arc. It's some really good stuff in there, some really bad stuff in there. But I think more so that reading it weekly was a really, like, drag. Because it's something like 350 chapters, and it just drags on and on.
It's a lot of captains that you really, you might care about, you might not care about, but you're here for the Ichigo crew.
I think
Ichigo's not there for 100 chapters. You're like, wait, what's going on here?
I think people just got really fatigued at certain points of it, and it was just like, okay, it's finally wrapped up. I can just stop this now. Aizen's gone. Aizen's who I cared about, and I can just kind of stop it now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just my assumption of it.
Like, we should just get like 100 people who like never seen Bleach or something, put them in a room or them to read Bleach weekly or something, you know.
Yeah, I swear, if you tried to read Bleach weekly, because when I dropped off of Bleach after Fullbring, and to start doing the Bleach month that we're doing, I decided to reread it all from the beginning, and I didn't feel the fatigue of like Hueco Mundo when I was reading it, but I definitely remember getting tired when I was actually reading it week to week. There's definitely some fatigue there. If you can marathon it, I think it's a breezy read.
Dude, like, here's the weird thing about me. I felt the fatigue in the Hueco Mundo segment, particularly before we get to like the fights. You know, when Ichigo are just running around like the desert and shit in Hueco Mundo. I was just there like, dude, I don't remember it being like this like slow. But in the manga, it's like I don't feel that fatigue. So that's kind of weird, dude.
Yeah, I think it's because it's if you can marathon it, I don't feel any of that fatigue. But after like 250 chapters of reading it, it's just like, come on. Even like so One Piece is my favorite shonen of all time. Dressrosa is like 180 chapters, and even that I was just like, come on now. Like, it just felt very tiring at certain aspects of it. But then you look at something like Whole Cake, which is 40 chapters less, and I didn't feel a moment of fatigue. I think it's just if you connect to it or not.
Yeah, I think it definitely has to do with you whether you're not connected with it, because I didn't feel like that desert running thing was dragging on too long, because I like Nell and her little crew, and then you got everybody doing things. What I did feel the drag was when all the captains started fighting, because I'm like, I don't really care about any of these Iran cars or anything, or the vice captains or anything.
Yeah, and they don't give you a real reason to care about the Iran car outside of like 4 of them. Most of them just show up and it's just like, I want this and here's my sword and let's fight.
I don't know about that.
I'll ask you then. What do you think Hollybell wanted?
Hollybell, what is, first of all, DBZ Airman, like I said, is that it's in all of his like 15-minute long Hollybell video. Also, which by the way, something that I noticed as well that I should point out is that clip of when that notes that Hollybell's backstory is in like
the anime.
The anime, that wasn't DBZ Airman, that was just Wolf.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, you don't get a backstory in the manga as somebody that read the manga and didn't watch the anime.
And I think DBZ Amram talks about how good Holly Bell is or how
Yeah.
much weight she has, and we were like, well, it's all anime stuff. It's made up.
No, I don't think it was in the anime. I think it was even implied in the manga that she joined Aizen because they had the same beliefs of sacrifice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Wait, Combat, did she? Actually, it's sort of. Let me grab the manga and check the chapters real quick.
And then
Be right
what about
back.
the black spiky headed dude that fought Byakuya? What did he want? He was just there. Stuff like that. It's just like this is just an antagonist that we need to fight right now, which is fine sometimes.
Yeah, there's no problem with the wall. Like somebody like Nappa. Nappa's a wall. We
Who
just
cares
need
about
to.
Nappa?
Who cares about Nappa? We don't care about. We don't need to know about his backstory or anything. He's just a wall for us to defeat.
But when you say that the Arankar are good, you have to go, yeah, but what about these people? And it's just like DBZ Amram said in his video. He said all the Gotai 13, they have a specific role. And like, well, they don't.
Yeah, only like 4 or 5 divisions have actual specific roles. Everybody else is just kind of doing what they do. And when it comes to the Arankar, there are like 4 or 5 really, really good ones.
You're going to think of your Ukiora. You're going to think of your Grimjow.
But then you've got the ones that aren't as good, and does it balance out of why like them as a whole are good because the good ones are so good, or is it just like if you don't pay too much attention to the ones that aren't good, you'll see that they're actually really good? What a hiccup.
And that was one of those things like I gotta hold this down. My heart come out my throat.
For the divisions, you can't just expect everyone to have their own specific specialty. And even then, as we see in Everything But the Rain, it's stated that certain divisions take care of certain aspects of certain parts of the world of the living. For example, we see Ishin in that city, and it's implied to be Squad 10 city, and then he goes to Karakura Town, and it's implied to be. And the guy was there oh, dude, you're not meant to be here, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it kind of implies that fuck, Zanka. It kind of implies that certain squad members do take care of places when it comes to reaping hollows. Then we have the squads that specialize in certain aspects in a fight, which are for example, Squad 4 and Squad 12, which are of medical and research respectively.
Mm-hmm. As far as not all the divisions having specialties, and you can't expect that. We wouldn't even bring it up if Imram himself didn't say, or Wolf didn't bring up that every division has its own specialty.
Which they don't.
But that's just false. They don't have their own specialty.
Maybe he didn't mean to word it that way. He
didn't
mean to word it that way.
We can't go by.
But his intention was meant to be that. Well, they do. Well, lots of squads do beyond reaping hollows. We have the ones that do research and shit.
Yeah, we have a research one. We have a medical one.
But we went down the list of them, and there were 5 that had a specific role.
And we can't go by what
the Stealth Force members. Don't forget the Stealth Force members, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of the 5. We can't go by what the intent of the person is. We can only go by what the words they say are. We can't go, oh, but what he meant to say was, we can only go, hey, everyone has a special talent or a special thing they do within the squad. And it's just well, no, they don't. We can't go, well, what he really meant was...
He's saying these things to convince people why Eye Patch Wolf is wrong in certain aspects.
But it's not correct.
Or why he should explain some more things. But it's just not correct.
Again, the wording is wrong, but his intentions were there.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make his point clear that that there's more than what Eye Patch Wolf was looking at when he claimed that Bleach had poor world building. Which is a bullshit claim in of itself. It's not as good as One Piece, but there is good world building in it.
I think there is good world building in it, but I don't think the world building itself is very good. I think there are aspects of it that you can look at and go, "This is good world building," but there's too many questions about the world itself that I can't go. The world is built well.
Especially Souls.
All right. So, what would you consider good world building, for example?
Good world building for I'll even just go for Bleach. Good world building to me would be like, um,
No, I
show
mean
us
like
some.
in general. I mean like in general.
Oh, okay.
Because to
In
me,
general,
like
in general,
good world building. To me, like good world building is like, well, does it service the plot and like does it like expand on like the character certain things, and does it add those like areas of shades of gray that we really need?
to me, that's not world building. That's development. That's moving the plot forward. That's character development. That's stuff like that. Now you go into the past and you see some of the things that happen that can further a character, and it can also help build the world. But that in itself is not necessarily world building. World building to me is when you go into a piece of fiction and you know how the government is structured, you know the commerce, you know the jobs, you know let's say an island in like One Piece. We know what people can do. We know the armies, we know the jobs, we know
how they're walking around the Skypiea because of the clouds and things like that.
we know how their sciences are developing. We know what they're due. We know the poor areas. We know why the areas are poor. We know the rich areas. We know why they're rich. We know the royalty. We know why they're royalty.
Now, we're not saying that we need all of this stuff. It's not like you can hop into a world like Yu Yu Hakusho, the world that was it the demon world? Not
Demon world.
Yeah,
Spirit world.
Spirit world. Spirit world. We don't know everything about the spirit world, but we know enough to just go, yeah, that's pretty good. We got King Yama. They're ruling over it. There are jobs. There's an office.
They're doing paperwork and stuff.
There's buildings, things of that nature.
How souls are decided to go to heaven, hell, reincarnation, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, we know a good enough amount to not have as many questions.
I would never think of Bleach as world building because I don't. It's world building is so not very important to me. It enhances a story, but it's not something I need to say a story is good. I look at world building in Bleach and I'm just like, I don't really care. But when somebody brings up that it's good, I have to go, well, what about all these questions I have? I do not know.
All right, so go ahead about the questions, which, by the way, I particularly don't pay too much attention on world building myself.
Yeah.
But, Patch Wolf was just downplaying Bleach's world building for, like, a hilarious margin. Like,
no.
Good.
Like we said, Wolf just isn't very good.
And also in your video, by the way, which makes me, like, just want to cry sometimes. For me, I don't particularly care about world building. I mean, if One Piece all about it is like Luffy goes visit an island and like this and this happened, they're like, is this all the story gonna be?
Okay.
I dropped One Piece earlier than expected.
See, that's more plot stuff to me than world building. For world building, it would be like Luffy goes onto this island. What is going on the island? What is their economy? What is their history?
There's an island called Water 7, and it's a flooded town. And every I think it's every year there's a big hurricane that comes and floods it even more. So they just go, we're constantly building, keeping it above, higher and higher, building buildings and everything's higher and higher. So before you even go, wait a second, how is there a water place and how do people get around? They go, there are these things that take us around. Here's how this works. Here's how this works. And it's all fleshed out enough that you go, I got it. But then if you look at something like Bleach, you go, what are the souls' jobs? People are born into this world because souls can be born. Are they not given employment? For the people that can get hungry, the souls that can get hungry, are they not given any sort of government funds? There are children who are or just orphaned. Are there no help to that? And it wouldn't be too big of a problem if it's basically the start of Bleach happens because of a question that we don't know. Ichigo, Rukia and Renji meet because Renji was still in water, I believe. Why does he not have his own water? Does he not have? Can he not afford it? If he can't afford it, why doesn't he have money? And what happens?
What is the money?
Okay. In that segment, yeah, I wouldn't. In your case, yeah, I can understand like why you would have those questions. But if you did really read like the Bleach manga again, I'm pretty sure it's explained in volume 12 or in the same volume 11, they explain that like the adults are like that the place where Rukia and Renji grew up in is like full of like fees and shit.
Yeah, it's
So,
fees,
you know,
it's bad
it's
adults,
implied
it's taxes.
and it's actually implied in the manga that they actually stole that water and that food and shit.
Yeah, no, why don't
You
they
know?
have money is the problem. Why was
Yeah,
Rukia
exactly.
Rukia was left alone as a child by her sister and she grew up super poor. Why is there not like a here we are putting these children over here to feed them and until they're ready to go back into the human world? There's nothing like that. It's just you are plopped down, they run by and just go, here's kind of what the world is, and then they peace out. And you have these questions like, wait a second.
And we wouldn't even have these questions if you didn't say the world building itself is good, or the world is a good world building. We wouldn't have these questions. We wouldn't care. I have read Bleach twice, maybe even 3 times. I did not have a question of what is the money of Bleach. But the second somebody says Bleach has good world building, I go, what is the money of Soul Society?
Then say you're coming from someone who doesn't particularly care about the world building, about world building in general. I mean, after all, I'm the same person who's saying, like, if that's all the plot is going to be, I might drop it. I care more about plot, character development,
Oh yeah,
than world building.
I am a
Say
big
side
plot
point.
man. This guy next to me is a big character dude. We don't care about world
Yeah,
building
world
like
building
that.
doesn't matter. But he said that it's good and we had to think about it. And then we go, wait a second, it's not that good.
Just saying, but like the things like the currency, it's like such a small thing if you think about it.
But it's
like
not.
think about it. It's such a small thing.
What's the small thing?
The currency.
The currency?
Think about,
No.
like the currency, like what is the name of the currency of the spirits? And I'm like, does it matter to you?
No, again, like I said, the story happens because Rukia and Renji met each other. Renji was stealing something because he didn't have money. Together they went into the Soul Society, and then they became Soul Reapers, and then Rukia went to Earth, met up with Ichigo. Story happens. And you have to go back to the beginning and like, why was he stealing? We don't know why he was stealing.
As far as the money is such a small thing,
Wait,
the
let me
economy when it comes to world building, when it comes to
scan really quickly.
oh yeah, go ahead. When it comes to world building, economy is a big part of it. Because that's what builds the world. It makes the world feel like a real place, quote unquote.
We don't need to know what the name of the money is, but we need to know how people are earning their money, how people are earning their living.
And what things cost. What is the cost of the water that they stole?
And why could they not buy it?
Is it 3 rens? Is it 15 rens? What is rens in relation to this? It's like Harry Potter. We know what the money of Harry Potter is. It's such and such to this. It's such and such to this. It's such and such to this. It costs about this. That's what money is. Money just helps flesh out a world. Government helps flesh out a world. These things help flesh out a world, and that is what world building is. You're building a world. You're not developing the plot. You're not developing a character. You're building a world. I think you're still looking for a scan.
Yeah.
I think too many people conflate.
In that scan, it specifically implies that like it's the worst. It's one of the worst districts to be in, and it's implied that they actually stole the food, according to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but why can't they? Why do they not have money to buy it? Is my question.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why is it one of the worst districts? Why is it so poor? What happened in the world to make it one of the worst districts?
Why are they still within the same district? Why can't they go over to another district? Are they forced to be there?
That's building the world.
I'm pretty sure it's literally said that like no, it was said in like the sub. No, it was like I think it was said in like when Chad encountered the parakeet kid. Is that the souls when they go to the Soul Society, they aren't like it's not like what's the word I'm looking for?
Corporal?
Corporal is just like oh, you go here and go there and go there.
Yeah, no.
Pretty sure it was said
That is absolutely said. When a soul dies, it just waits for reincarnation. That's all it is. The souls do not get hungry because they do not have the spirit energy to feel the type of fatigue and hunger it is.
Unless they do have the spirit energy.
Yeah, if they have spirit energy, if you're born in soul society, you need to eat, you need to drink, you have the energy, and you need these things.
Or when a soul dies and comes into the soul society, and it is of high enough spiritual energy, that also happens.
Yes, you age, and that type of stuff. These spirits, they don't need anything. They're just living day by day, just waiting for their turn to be reincarnated. The regular people, those people, what is their economy?
Why is there not separated people who are hungry versus people who are not? People who feel tired versus people who do not, because they're basically just robots. They don't get cold. They don't feel uncomfortable when they get rained on. But these are basically just people, and they're all just lumped together. Why? And again, not a big problem until you think about it, and that's why the story happens, because these two people met each other.
And it's not a problem of world building unless you're thinking about the world building and whether it's good or not. As I said, I never once had these questions until somebody said, this is good world building, which was DBZ Imran, and I have to go, no, it's not, because I don't know any of these things about the world.
He even goes, this is just the East Branch, and then we're mentioned that there's a West Branch, and then it's just like, well, it exists, and that's it.
We don't know if there's a North Branch, South Branch, or any of this.
I got the other scan of how like the souls are wanting. This is when Chad was like found the kid, and the kid is like searching for his mother still, and in that district he made a family with someone else, guy who particularly lived in World War II, I think.
Yeah.
And they were there like, well, it works like this in terms of the distribution. Like, they decide where you go and stuff.
Yeah. We know why they go to the areas they go to. But what is their economy?
Why are they still in the poor? This is a very poor district, which means that there are other districts. Why not go to another district? And again, what is their economy?
That's all world building is. It's building a world. It's letting you learn about the histories, the sciences, the economy, the government, all the stuff that builds the world itself. Like, if aliens came to our Earth right now and we went, well, it's not developing our characters, so that's not world building. They would come here and go, what is your economy? Who is your leader? Such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such.
What's all that blue stuff over there? Why can you rub two sticks together and make fire?
Oh, it's the friction. It's our science. Why are you not floating? Because of gravity. Things like that.
Yeah. Again, I'm just the guy who only gives attention to world building when it like services the plot.
Yeah. Like we said.
This is why Korn is most likely gonna hold these points against me. Why I'm not doing so well in this particular case.
Yeah, like we said, we would not care about the world building if it wasn't brought up. Because we don't pay attention to it like that either. If it's really, really, really good, it enhances it. But if it's not very good, it's not a detriment. Just don't call it good if it's not good. If there's no problem with poor world building, I don't care about it. Just don't say it's good.
Combat. We're in the world building section right now. Also, for the East Branch, you know about the Burn the Witch, right? You know about Burn the Witch?
Yeah.
It explains what is the East.
Yeah, but that also came out 2 years ago.
3 years after the end of Bleach, no less. See, this is the thing.
No, it literally explains what is what is the East District. When it came out and shit, it's irrelevant. It explains. Like, we're gonna criticize about the guy about storytelling and stuff. Oh, he watches this stuff from YouTube, so therefore invalid. Why though?
No. That's not the same thing. It's supplementary info. Like, if somebody is reading, let's say, JoJo's, and they go, oh, you didn't know these things happened in previous JoJo's, and it's building the world and such, you go, okay, that was within the confines of the manga itself. I just missed it. This is going, well, you need to read Purple Haze Feedback to learn what happened to Fugo and stuff. Well, that to me is just not real. Because it's not within the confines of the Bleach manga itself or the JoJo manga itself. It's supplementary info that helps build the world after the fact. If you're going, Bleach has good world building within its own confines of its pages, that is a falsity. If you're going, it has good world building. If you read the novels and you read all this other stuff and blah 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 and yak yak yak, sure, you can. Anybody can build a good world after the fact. Anybody can pick up a book and go.
Anybody can give an info.
The light novels are literally third-party material. I can body people on like Twitter debates and Bleach narrative debates without even the need of the light novels.
Yeah. You shouldn't need the light novels because they're supplementary info.
I bought the entirety of Mauler server, only mentioning like the light novels once. The whole debate, and I bodied them on a regular basis. I don't even need them.
Yeah, I understand.
But like, the difference with the difference of Burn the Witch is that it's technically a sequel, a form of a sequel to Bleach in a way.
It's a spin-off.
Is it a spin-off? Would it technically count as a spin-off or a sequel? Because it does.
It's like it would be like Uncharted. Uncharted's Lost Chapters, where it's Chloe and the other girl. It's like that. It technically takes place in such and such area, but it's a spin-off.
Combat said that it's technically both. So it's both. So dang, we're gonna be having to talk about for a very long time if it's a sequel or spin-off.
It can be both.
But it's still not Bleach. It's not the 74 volumes of Bleach that this information is within.
Like it's different for something like Harry Potter, where you know you're gonna have to buy 7 books to get something.
But you don't really need Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
They're talking about Grindelwald and all that stuff after the fact. Within the pages of Harry Potter proper, I don't know a lot about Grindelwald.
But I know enough that it's just like, I know where he fits into this story.
Well, in that case, it was only like a subtle little mention. Also, I'm kind of weirded out. Why did you make fun of like Eye Patch Wolf when he mentioned like the Japanese version of Bleach?
The Japanese version of Bleach? What do you mean?
Like, he mentioned how this mistranslated it, and then you made fun of him for mentioning.
We said that as people that do not read Japanese, we cannot get this information. It wasn't so much making fun of it. It was just like, we don't know about it.
Yeah, he said that, I think DBZ Imran said that it was a Viz mistranslation. If you look in the Japanese, it says this. And we're like, well, we're not Japanese, so you would have to translate everything. We only know what we know, and we only know what we're given.
Okay, let's go to the Japanese version and translate it ourselves. Especially since, like, Viz sometimes mistranslates that shit as it seems like the black coffin reducing Ichigo to dust, even though it has black hole properties, for example.
Yeah, they mistranslated things in One Piece.
Yeah, but I don't know Japanese, so it's just like, I'll still be relying on Google Translate or something that's not as reliable.
I'm not going to rely on Google fucking Translate. I will not.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, unless you know Japanese yourself, it's all just going to be a secondhand thing. I'm trusting this source to give me this information. What if a Japanese person goes, yeah, that website is trash?
Dude, technically speaking, like, the Japanese manga of Bleach isn't like a secondary source. It's technically the primary source if you think about it.
No. We're talking about when somebody translates, we can only trust the translator. That what they said is correct. Because we personally don't know Japanese to go, no, it actually says this. That's what we mean by secondhand.
Tyler, what would you say about that, the translations aspect?
Well, the example you brought up was the black hole thing. The issue is, even if you bring up the like specific words, right? There's obviously nouns, adjectives, and then there's non-adjectives, which are weird in Japanese because kanji translates very strangely depending on the word and the sentence. I don't fucking know. It's weird. it's just really weird.
Yeah, Japanese is a weird language to translate.
Yeah, I've seen people going, here's this sentence in Japanese, and then here's it in English, and then they'll have colored lines going like, oh, this second word is all the way here at the very end. It's like, well, and you got to think about that while you're. But yeah, the whole point is, unless you know it yourself, you're going to have to search out something to translate it for you, and then you have to just trust that.
Another one that is worth mentioning is the Central 46. The Central 46 that you again laughed at DBZ Emran for.
Oh yeah. Because he talked about, it's an established thing and stuff, but we don't know the government there. We don't know how they're selected. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they do. We don't know if there's a new one now.
It's just a shadow organization, and then we just see them in their day.
It's literally stated that it's literally shown, like directly shown in like when Aizen is going to be imprisoned away. First of all, I think it was stated like volume. It's in the volume 20s or something. It's around the start of the segment of the Aranka arc, but it stated that Yamamoto took up the responsibilities temporarily of the Central 46, and then when we see Aizen imprisoned, we see that that the Central 46 were replaced, and it's also stated like directly after Ichigo's fight against Byakuya, and when Toshiro and Horangiku were entering the Central 46 compartment, and when they point out how weird it is that the alarms didn't go off, for example, but Toshiro points out how the Central 46 are made out of like the most knowledgeable people of the Soul Society.
Okay, so you said they were replaced. Here's the example of world building. How were they replaced?
Who were they replaced by? Is it a democracy where they are voted in? Because they have a lot of power, obviously. So are they just old people who have a lot of knowledge? How do you prove that you have that knowledge?
Is there a test or something? That's what world building is.
Just saying that they were replaced, that's basically nothing. It was never specified exactly. So we're just to assume that there are these 46 very smart people who are in charge of this branch of Soul Society, and we don't know anything about them.
Before or after, we don't know about the people that were murdered, and we don't know about the people that were replaced by them. It's basically just people in shadows just making rules or judgments.
Shinigami, you alive?
I found I was looking for scans. Oh, I don't think it's ever specified. 46 very incompetent people. I mean, when we first like see them in the Soul, when we most likely see them in the Soul Society arc, we supposedly see them. Central 46 just being scummy as hell. Oh, I mean, yeah, they were gonna kill. I mean, everyone found it believable that they were gonna execute Rukia for just a small thing.
Also, just a thing to know: the words "democracy" and "Soul Society" shouldn't be in the fucking same sentence because they're far from a democracy.
Yeah, but that also just brings out the point: how were they chosen?
They're likely monarchy or something. Monarchy, I think.
They're kind of like, hey, you want to be a captain? Too bad, you're fodder.
No,
it's like a patriarchy.
The way you get recruited to be a captain is that they actually mentioned that you have 3 ways to do it. One of them, like, that I think Squad 11 prefers the most.
Fucking the badass.
Let me see. Let me see if I remember correctly. The first way is obviously if you fight a captain and body him. The second way is if you like I think it was like perform a bankai or something. I don't remember it. But Tosin said all of them in when he was fighting Kenpachi. Which chapter was it?
I think it is you have to defeat a captain, or you have to master a bankai and like go to some sort of like
Not sure. Which chapter did like do you remember like which chapter?
You can also be nominated.
Combat.
Oh, that's cool. You need 2 recommendations from 2 other captains.
Because when Urahara becomes a captain, it's because Yoruichi nominates him.
Yeah.
Combat, do you remember the chapters where like Tosin made those statements? And yeah, Kisuke did get nominated as a captain based on like recommendations. There's another one that I really want to point out. There's a third one.
Okay, see, this is good world building. We know how they become a captain. This is good stuff here. But there are other things that we don't know.
Like the Central 46.
Let me actually like go to Bleach Wiki and like look up the chapters or something.
I personally don't need this information. We've never argued about the captains becoming captains or anything, so this is like
just really want to show like the scans and shit. Just want to show the scans.
Presumably, though, like
148.
Yamamoto was deemed capable of taking over the roles, I would assume it's just people as old as Yamamoto.
I'd assume like people just as wise as Yamamoto or something.
No, here's the problem. You saying the word assume and I think and maybe and this. We don't know.
It's never flat out said.
Yeah, it's never established.
That's what world building is. That's what we mean by it's not very good world building. There are aspects of it that are good world building. There is good world building within Bleach, but Bleach's world building as a whole is not very good because there are so many questions. And the only thing people can give us is either read the light novels, read Burn the Witch, or I think.
Yeah.
I don't particularly focus on world building. Again, I might drop One Piece because of that. Coincidentally, I might also like. I only watch Dragon Ball for the fights. Like I just watch it for the punches and kicks.
No, Dragon Ball.
No,
is terrible.
everybody does.
Yeah, no. That's the way to watch it. If you think about Dragon Ball, it's a problem because you're just gonna find all the problems of it. If you're just like, I like watching the animation and the big power-ups and stuff, you're going to have a good time. And that's what you should look for in Dragon Ball. If you actually think about it, then it becomes a problem. And here's the thing. With Bleach, it wasn't a problem with me until I had to think about it when somebody said, DBZ Imram said, it's good world building. Then I have to think about it. I didn't think about the economy. I didn't think about how was the Central 46 established or anything. I didn't care.
Combat also pointed out that there is the system of reincarnation, which I'm not sure if you understood it correctly.
No, I understand it. If you die in the world, you come back as a soul in Soul Society, and then you are reincarnated into a human. Soul Reapers, once they die, they are reincarnated. Hollows are people that have lost their way or in despair, and if they are purified by a Soul Reaper, their soul goes back into Soul Society, and they go back into the cycle of reincarnation.
Quincy's destroy the souls outright.
Which could hurt the balance of the world, because there needs to be a comparable amount of souls in Soul Society to a comparable amount of souls in the living world. I understood the cycle of reincarnation for world building.
Which, by the way, I consider that good world building because it does service the plot in a way.
That's an aspect.
Okay.
But this is the thing. We said there's good world building within it.
When we get to the Quincy War arcs, okay, now we understand what is at stake here, and with the Quincy's as enemies.
Yes, we said there are good aspects of world building within of Bleach. I've said this multiple times in this very debate. I have said that as a whole, it is not good world building because you got these poor districts. We don't know why they're poor. We don't know how the money works. We don't know how their government works in terms of like Central 46 and the people that we don't know.
No plans for orphans. No job systems.
How about actually, there's also the Hollow Evolution and how Hollow Evolution and how it all works. There's also the Zero Division, which is how you get recruited to the Zero Division.
Yes, we know all of that.
Again, how does the money work?
Again, we're not saying there is no such thing as world building in Bleach. We're not saying there's no such thing as good world building within Bleach. We're saying as a whole,
looking over everything,
the world of Bleach is not built very well.
I think the world of Bleach is built really well, as it makes sense enough. Well, okay, so how does this work? Oh, it makes sense, and it does service the plot.
How does the economy work? See, your whole thing is how does it service the plot? Dictionary definition of world building is not in service to the plot. It's the world that is being built. Things like economy, government, if it's a democracy, how such and such, the histories and such. That's what is world building. When I look at Bleach and I say, how does the economy work, and people cannot give me an answer, or they point me to an anime filler, that tells me that the world is not built very well, because within the pages of Bleach, they never once explained why somebody is poor, because they never once explained money.
All right. So how about the Gente Kaijo seal?
What about it?
All you're mentioning is the economy. It's also a form of world building when they say like, well, we have to specifically suppress our powers.
Yes. I said again, there are good parts of world building within Bleach.
Here's the problem with the main points. You're just mentioning like economy. How does Central 46 get hired? And I'm here mentioning like captain ranking, hollow evolution, prescient seals, which are going to be really major as well to them. We also have like the Zero Division hiring. So I have like what, 5 points or something for Bleach's world building being good, and you mentioned like 2.
Again, did I ever say that there is no good points of world building within Bleach? I have never said this. I have said there are.
No, you never said that, but you're saying aspects of it is good, and then you're saying like overall it's not good. But here I am mentioning like the majority.
No, you're mentioning some.
That you're hold on. Here are like the majority of things that you're agreeing with, but you're mentioning like two like small things like economy.
Again, it causes the story to happen. Does it or does it not? Does it or does it not?
The story happens because we don't. The story happens because of the economy.
We don't know the economy.
Which, by the way, it does technically show the plot of the Soul Society arc, which is that of where what's the word I'm looking for? Wait, I think combat type something. It's more based on the spirit energy. The money in Rukongai is weird because souls that have no spiritual pressure can live off without hunger, so money wouldn't matter to them. However, these do have power literally need to live off
we've mentioned
on
this.
their own.
So when you go to it's a bad district or a poor district, what is the money? Why are they hungry? They're hungry because they cannot buy the food because they have no money. So what is their money?
And can you please answer my question now if it makes the story happen or not?
The reason the story happens is because Renji and his friends were stealing something because they had no money to buy it. Rukia stops it, and after that, she becomes the central part of their group, which in turn leads to their friends dying and Rukia and Renji joining Soul Society because of it, which in turn causes her to become part of the noble family, which in turn puts her into the gives her a mission of going to that town to investigate a hollow, which in turn gives her powers to Ichigo. The entire story happened because of we did not have money to eat. So what is your money?
Is this true or false? Please answer.
Combat also pointed out.
No. Please. Answer, please.
We see what Combat's saying. We are in the scans area. We are watching everything he's saying. I understand that.
Please answer the question.
And let's also wrap this up very quick because I do have to go soon.
Wait, you really want to like continue on this next time?
Oh yeah, I have no problem with that.
I just want to mention like
Can you please answer my question? What have I said that was false? What line of reasoning that we said is false? Is it right or wrong that the story happens because of the economy?
And we have agreed with you many times through this. We have said many times of such and such and positives of Bleach. Answer this simple question. Does it happen because of the economy?
And they address their aspect of the government in the Soul Society, how their system is outdated. And
that doesn't answer our question. It's a yes or a no. And if it's a yes,
said yes.
explain. If it's a no, explain.
I said yes, and I was explaining it
Okay.
before you fucking interrupted me. Okay?
Sure thing. Yes, explain, please. Sorry, no
Okay.
interrupting.
Okay.
We'll mute our mic, as a
Thank
matter
you.
of fact.
Another does wait. Fucking hell, it looks ugly to me whenever. Wouldn't there technically be world to be because Hoekamundo literally has no economy? It's just a universe that literally based on survival.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Waco
but-
Mundo. We're talking about Soul
Wait,
Society.
Stop to read shit.
I said yes, and I was explaining it before you decided to fucking interrupt me in the beginning portion of the explanation where they address this problem in the Soul Society arc of their outdated system.
They address the problem. They do not say what the economy was. What is the economy?
They say this is a problem, but then do nothing to fix it or address it or explain it.
What is the economy? And you can't say it's such a little thing because it actually causes the plot and story to happen.
That was. I may need to reread that chapter again, but like, wasn't like Rangy and Rukia's whole reasoning to become not sure on that one either. That one needs like rereading again.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
the whole thing is that they met each other because of this reason. But yeah, it looks like my brother gotta
They
go.
met each other, but like coincidentally, the whole shit like never said that like they just went there. Wait, I'm not remembering correctly this one. I may need to like reread that chapter again. Oh, wait, it is. I think I need to reread it again.
yeah, no problem. We'll come back to this some other day. Like I said, I really have to go, unfortunately.
I really wanted to go over like the Ichigo point.
Oh, yeah.
Ichigo character development.
We have time another day for this. No problem. It's just that I have to go. I didn't have a lot of time for this.
God damn it!
Yeah, it's
I was planning to have to end it all today because fuck.
yeah, it's okay. Like there's we could do this 5 another time. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Plus,
so
you'll have more
how about we do
information
it-
once the other parts come out.
All right. So how about we do it like this? I can reread like all of your relevant issues. You can send me in DMs all of the relevant issues that you have with Bleach. I can reread the manga again for this. All the 600 plus chapters of Bleach.
I think it's 686.
Yes,
Nice
I
number.
said 600 plus. Gives the same message.